97.9 The Box. It's the Mad Hatter Morning Show, and we got two special guests here today. Jimbo, start us off here. Let me see your book while Jimbo starts us off. Let me see what you got.
Of course, we have Misty Copeland in here, the amazing ballerina.
And she has brought along a friend, Mr. Calvin Royal III, as well. Give him a round of applause as well.
Thank you.
Now, let me start here before we get into the hard questions. I have never gone to a ballet. Here's how I know about you. I've seen you. I mean, everyone talks about you. I know Miss Anderson from out of the city of Houston. Those are two ballet artists that I know on record.
Yeah.
Right.
And because of YouTube, thank God for YouTube. So but I've never gone to a ballet. So, and you being a brother, let me, if you don't mind, why does a 14-year-old, what does a 14-year-old wake up in the morning, fella, and say, man, all this other stuff I just don't want to do. This ballet thing is speaking to my heart. I must do it immediately.
Yeah.
What's this? Just Calvin, give me a brief story of what goes on in a 14-year-old mind that said, this is my answer in life.
Well, basically, I started as a musician. I was studying classical piano.
Okay, all
before
right.
I got into ballet, and when it was time to join the High School of Performing Arts, I auditioned for music, for dance, for theater, and dance was one of the only programs I actually got into.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wait a minute, you weren't a dancer, you were in it for music, but they accepted you for dance.
because
Boy, you must be bad.
they saw the potential, and that's when I started. That's when I got my start.
Look, isn't the obligation to dance, the sacrifice for dance, is it really not too much? And I don't know if the payoff is good at the end. And Ms. Copeland, I can probably ask you that as well later, but it seems like a lot of work, and I don't know if the pay is well, and it seems more sacrifice than pay to me. But I could be wrong. Every dancer could be a millionaire and the story's not been told.
Right. Well, I mean, artists in general, we can always make more money.
Absolutely.
But I think what makes it worth it is we get to travel. We perform all over the world, and we get a chance to work with so many choreographers and so many other dancers from other companies. And it's just, I don't know, the payoff is so rewarding for us.
What was the dream? When did you reach your dream portion? Like, this is not even real for me.
I mean, when I got a scholarship to move to New York at 17, having started ballet 3 years prior,
Really? Wait a minute. You were dancing for 3 years and you got accepted to a school
to study in New York City. So when I got there, it all became
he must be really good. No, I'm just saying, it seems like something that takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time and a lot of work, lots of hours in the studio. And, I'm still working.
You guys make it look so easy. That's the thing about it. But it really is a lot of time. And I'm Misty. I know that you sacrificed a lot. I mean, your childhood to be, probably you're the biggest ballet star in the world, right? I mean, what? Because you started.
She's not going to say that, I don't think, though.
But
you started kind of. Say it, girl.
You started kind of late yourself, right?
Yeah, it's very interesting, I think, and it says a lot about.
Yeah, there you go. May I pull it up for you? Thank you, Mr.
It's very interesting, I think, Calvin and I, that we have such similar backgrounds in terms of finding dance and the age that we started at. I think it says a lot about the structure of ballet and how exclusive it has been for diversity. So with that said, I think you have to be so extremely passionate to be a part of ballet. And I think a lot of kids learn that young and quickly, that if you're not ready to sacrifice your body, your emotions, your mental, like all of these things to ballet, like it's not worth it to be a part of it. Like we do it because we love it, because it feeds us in a way that nothing else does. And I think that even if you don't go on to become a professional, what it gives you in your communication skills, just understanding who you are as a person, the cognitive skills, all of these things, it's going to make you a better person. And so many dancers go on to become everything from lawyers to doctors. I feel like we have so many lives, and it's because of the technique, because of what we learned from it.
As a child, though, how do you know? Because did someone push you to do this? Or do you know, like sometimes as a child, like I knew I would probably end up doing what I'm doing. I didn't need a parent to persuade me or anything like that. How did you as a child? Was it that you just knew, or was it that there was some coaxing along from somebody else?
It was a combination of things. I was not exposed to classical music or classical dance in any way. I was just your average kid going to public school, but I had a love of music. I grew up with soul and R&B and hip hop in the house, and I always wanted to move to it. So I was very shy. I'd go in a corner or find a private space, and I would just create movement. But I'd never seen anything other than what I'd seen on like MTV and BET and VH1. And so I was creating what I thought in my head worked for the music. And so that was my first way of like finding this escape and outlet through movement. But it wasn't until I decided at 13 to audition for the dance team at my middle school. And the teacher there said, "You have a lot more talent than this dance team." And so she pushed me into taking a ballet class at my Boys and Girls Club, where they were offering free classes. So
you learned ballet at the Boys and Girls Club?
Boys and Girls Club. It's amazing. You know, there was no actual studio. There was no structure to train dancers, but there was a local teacher that was teaching classes on the basketball court.
Cindy.
Yes,
Wow.
Cindy Bradley.
Cindy.
And I went in there with my gym clothes on and my socks, and she was like, "I've never seen anyone like you before that's been able to pick up what she's seeing and kind of mimic and has the strength." And so she brought me into her school on full scholarship, and 4 years later I was in New York dancing for American Ballet Theatre.
Did you know you were different? And what I mean by that, because of color. Did you know early on that you were
No.
different, or were? And when did you learn that? Oh, they don't really expect somebody that looked like me to do what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think that when I first started, I was just so passionate about it, and it was the first time that there was something that I had that was just for me, that was feeding me in a way that I'd never experienced in school. I was so focused on catching up. You know, most dancers start at the age of 3, between 3 and 7. And so it was a lot of catch up for me, and that was never brought to my attention, that I was the only black girl pretty much in my school. But it wasn't until I was a professional that I really understood how rare it was and what a big deal it was to be given an opportunity to possibly climb the ranks of American Ballet Theatre, which is a huge deal no matter what color you are.
No doubt.
But to have that opportunity, I understood what it meant, and it became a whole different thing. Like, it wasn't about me. It wasn't about, it was about carrying these people with me that had started to pave the way, that weren't given the opportunities, that aren't given the recognition. And Lauren Anderson was definitely a huge influence from the time I discovered what ballet was. To see a black woman on the cover of Dance Magazine, I think she was in like a Kitri, Don Quixote, like the Spanish costume, this tutu, and it was just like, it stopped me in my tracks because I'd never seen anyone like that. I mean, it can do so much for Carly, like we have here, a young ballerina, but to be able to see yourself represented on the stage, it's doing so much for these children in ways they probably aren't even consciously aware of.
Did at any point in time, and I know Mac read the whole book, so I know I'm asking. I'm asking questions, Mac. Like, if you just read the book, you wouldn't have that question. Because I know one or two times that happened because he cut a look. I felt the look because I know the vibe.
You should have read the book.
You should have. If you were like me, you would have read the book.
Read the
I'm
book
sorry.
next time, Hattie.
I'm sorry.
That is true, though.
But did something ever happen? Was there what was the determining? What was the moment when you found out? Oh, I'm black. They don't expect
When
it.
I found out.
Yeah, like did something happen, or did because at some point in time, because we all get bouts, and let's be honest, of racism or something like that, and all of a sudden you cross that, you cross that mark.
I think that there.
You don't have to tell it. We know you read the book. We get.
It's like, let me.
I'll
It's on
tell
page
y'all.
6.
I think just coming into my own and I was 17 years old when I moved to New York, and as young adults, we're searching for ourselves and trying to figure out who we want to be. And I think one of the most comforting things in someone's growth is to find people that they connect with and relate to. And I think it was during that time that I realized, like, I don't have anyone here that I truly feel like I can relate to, like, that comes from, an underprivileged family. I grew up in a motel, one of 6 children. And so I just didn't feel like I really connected with a lot of people there. And that's when I realized, like, oh, I'm the only black woman here. And that went on for a decade.
Wow.
That I was by myself in a company of 80 dancers, the only black woman.
Did that make you feel a particular way, or did that make you work harder because you knew you were different than the rest?
It was a combination of the two, but in the beginning, it almost made me want to give up.
Oh, wow.
It was like, you know, why me? Like, why am I any different from any other black woman who's, we've had a handful of black women who have come through American Ballet Theatre. But like, why me? Why am I here? Am I good enough? Will I ever be given an opportunity outside of the court of ballet? Will I ever be seen as a classical ballerina and not just put into the more contemporary ballets because I'm a better mover? So it was difficult. And then when I was introduced to so many, like Lauren Anderson and Raven Wilkinson and Virginia Johnson, all of these amazing women like literally just came into my life and they're like, we're here to support you.
Oh, really?
We want to
I was
do
going to ask
whatever
that. Oh, that's cool.
It takes to give you the confidence to keep going, because they knew what it was like to be the only black person in a company.
So they actually opened the door for you to have conversation with them, like, hey, girl.
And that made
it
made a huge difference, and I understand that power. And so I try to do the same for any, you know, I'm not just minority dancers, but especially minority dancers, because I understand what it is to have that support and what it feels like to be alone. But I think that's what made me work harder when it was like, okay, this is my opportunity to do these things that these other dancers weren't given the chance to do.
Wow, Misty Copeland, Calvin Royal III. We're going to get to the ballet Cinderella. I promise you guys. I'm just curious, Calvin, with you, Mr. Royal, did you experience pretty much the same thing? Was it? And I suspect that there are more men of color that do it than there is women. I don't know why I suspect that. For some odd reason, I just suspect that. I could be wrong, and if I am, Calvin, just say yes, you're wrong. But is your walk pretty much the same as well? Like, you know, the role models, if they're there, they're not there.
Right.
You know who you could turn to. Like, hey, it's kind of difficult. Who can I reach out to get some?
Right,
somebody to pat me on my back and say, just keep going, bro.
Yeah,
just keep going.
I mean, starting out at 14, I was at a performing arts high school, and there were it was a lot of diversity. But when I moved to New York and I was one of 12 people in my class at one of the most elite schools in the world, you know, you start to look around and you realize, wow, I am one of the only black people here. And like Misty was saying, having someone to represent and have that position gives you that confidence and that power to know that, okay, there's somebody doing it. There's somebody out there. And I've gotten messages from young aspiring dancers saying, wow, I never knew that, you know, a black brother was in ABT. I saw you on the website. And it makes me feel like I can do that too. And, you know,
is there pressure because of that too? Because now you have, on both sides, you got young black men or people of color looking at you, and they have an expectation of you. And then, you know, you got that other thing that happens where, you know, maybe I'm not good enough for the folks that I'm, you know, trying to do these performances for.
I mean, it all goes into it. It's a little bit of both. You know, what we do is so demanding, and we have to be in tip-top shape. We have to go out there, and ultimately it's us that's performing. So we have those pressures, but also to represent. It's something that feels special in a way because, you know, so many people look up to us, and have someone to say, if they can do it, I can do it. And that makes the difference.
For in a dancer's life, you mentioned sacrifice. Like, how often are you guys on stage? How often are you actually performing? You know, is there a possibility to have a life outside of ballet and dance? I mean, I guess I'm being honest, because it seems to me that the dedication, like you said, this young lady right here may have to sacrifice the rest of your life.
Uh-oh.
You know, hopefully, sorry, Miss Kim, sorry. Mama, I don't want to do it no more, sorry about that. But really, you know, is there an opportunity for you to go out, meet people, date, have fun, or is this a business that says, I'm sorry? Not people, the business is saying, you're not allowed.
Yeah, I mean, we're professionals, so we're not in a school. We're not being told, like, we don't have
can't.
a curfew, and we
Yeah.
live in a dorm, and they're like, you can't go out. We're adults, and when we were 17, and I was living on my own in New York
Right.
City as an adult, and when you join a professional company, you are treated as an adult, and
Okay.
at the same time, that can be bad because you don't have any structure, and it's a hard thing when you're younger. But when you first start out in a company, you may have a bit more downtime because you're new to the company. You may not be learning as many parts. So for me, when I first moved to New York City, and I think also not starting out in the ballet world, I didn't really have like a ballerina's mentality. I was still like, oh, I'm living in New York City. This is amazing. I want to go out and explore. And that's how I met my husband when I was 21. I think had I waited and not gone out and explored and waited until I was a principal dancer, like it's too
It'll be
late.
really
I have
hard.
no time now. I don't see people. I don't socialize. But that's the sacrifice you have to
Right.
make, I think, for anyone. I'm sure professional athletes,
Go through the same,
experience
yeah.
the same thing. And again, it's just something, we don't have long careers. So you have to take advantage of this time while we have it. And
What is the length of time for it? Because Miss Anderson, she retired. She retired
did
at
it for a while,
40
though.
or
She was,
41.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I'd say that's probably the latest that someone can dance, and that's if you're at the top of your company. Like if you're a principal dancer, you're not performing as often, so it's a little bit less grueling on the body. But if you're in the corps de ballet, which is the large body of dancers that are there to create the atmosphere, and they're in the background, they're on almost every show, or a soloist, which you dance a bit more than a principal, you might dance a bit longer. But men actually have shorter careers.
Wow.
Women.
Okay, I'm gonna be ignorant. Excuse my ignorance. Break down these different groups that you just.
Ranks.
Yeah, break that down for me real quick. For the layman out there that doesn't, they've seen ballet. They've seen ballet on television as they were zooming through channels. break that down for me. What you were just saying, because
Well,
you got the principal, you got
yeah.
this person, you got I don't know.
At American Ballet Theatre, and different companies have different ways of ranks. The way they rank their dancers. But at American Ballet Theatre, we have the corps de ballet, which, as I was saying, is the large group of dancers that you may see on the stage all at once. And they, especially the women in the second act ballets, they will be kind of framing the people who are dancing in the center and creating this atmosphere. It's one of the most difficult things I've ever done was dancing in the corps de ballet.
Wow.
To be able to dance in unison with other people, to kind of stand on stage, and it's extremely painful to do that while you're kind of highlighting these people that everyone's watching in the center. It's a big sacrifice.
Are
a
teachers
commitment
mean? Every time you see movies, it's this guy with a foreign accent that's really mean and nasty to you.
No,
It's-
I mean
it's not-
it depends. I mean,
She don't want to say
It's-
they're mean and nasty.
it's-
Okay.
It's case by case. I mean,
Okay,
in the
so-
movies,
Were they
in the
foreign,
movies
though?
and on TV,
You
they put
must
that
get
for
the
drama.
foot right, Misty. Misty.
I mean, I think that something that I want to do and use my voice for is to, again, bring ballet to more people,
Yeah.
to educate people on what it is, so that you don't have these stereotypical movies that come out that people assume this is what ballet
With the
is.
guy, the
This is
Russian
the
guy.
life
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we lead,
Yeah.
you know. And again, it's a family environment. Like I've been in the company for 16 years, so I grew up with a lot of these dancers. So it's not as
Is that
competitive
normal?
as I'd say it's on the longer side.
Mhm.
But yeah, most dancers will spend quite a bit of time.
Is that the goal for a dancer, to be with a company for an extended period of time?
I mean, it depends on what they
Your
want.
goal is?
Yeah, what your goal is. And ABT is a big company, so the opportunities to move up the ranks are very slim. So some dancers may, be in a company like ABT for a couple of years and then go on to another company where they might be given more opportunities.
Why? How was it that you were able to move up the way you did? What did it?
Hard work, like extreme sacrifice and focus and hard work. And I think also not being afraid to express that I wanted to be pushed and I wanted to be given the opportunities, and just to show that I'm extremely passionate about this and just prove myself year after year after year and show the consistency on stage and in the studio. And that was just kind of my experience. I'm saying this constantly, that I'm so grateful to be in this position and to have the opportunities that I have. And I understand why I get the recognition that I do. It's because I'm a Black woman.
Yes.
It's because I understand the people that I represent and the change I want to make in the ballet world. It's not because I'm the best dancer that's ever danced or performed, and that's something that I'm constantly stressing.
She's so humble.
No, it's
That girl
true.
knows she good. That's okay. That's okay, though. That's okay. That's okay.
We're all, you know.
Prince ain't calling everybody. He didn't call everybody.
Yeah.
He didn't pick up the phone and call everybody. But I love you. I
But
love that
it's
humble
true.
about you.
No,
Okay.
it's true, and we're constantly in the studio working to be better, and it's not about that. That's not the message I'm trying to put out there. But that, you know, the hard work never ends. Even when you reach that top rank, it's probably even harder to stay there and to maintain because all
get
eyes
it.
are on you.
That's right.
Well,
Hey,
you really branched out, though. Are there any purists in ballet that get mad that they not get mad, but they see you do commercials for Dannon and see you do the thing, and then they see the.
are you asking her about haters?
No,
Or-
I'm just saying that.
I mean, okay.
The Under Armour YouTube gets millions of views and stuff like that, and you're taking to the next level for ballet. But are the people purists like, oh, we shouldn't be doing that? We should be sticking.
Oh,
to
okay.
I'm sure it's said, like, I really, really, like, keep, like, the blinders on. And I'm so committed to my career and to my craft at ABT, and I try not to get caught up in what people think. Like, I'm true to myself. I'm only a part of brands that I respect and that make sense for me, that are, you know, about healthy image and in taking care of yourself and being strong and being unique and being the underdog, all
Yeah.
of those things that I am, and trying to use those platforms to represent ballet in the best way that I can. And I think that it's only good for the ballet, for America especially, for Americans to see ballet on that platform, to be able to turn on their television and learn about classical ballet. I think it's only going to benefit them. So I'm sure there are people out there that have their feelings. I really just try and stay focused.
She ain't worried about
Well,
the
you're
hate.
judging.
She
Well,
ain't
you're
worried about
judging,
the
so
hate.
you think you could dance, or you're thinking, man, I could probably blow away with these people.
That was so hard for me.
So yeah, other styles, because people think, you know, since you're a ballerina, you can dance all other types of styles.
no.
Are you
No.
a good hip hop dancer?
No.
Or are you good?
No. I mean, there's not a lot of time to go and like branch out and do other genres, and I didn't grow up again like in a studio where I was taking tap and jazz and hip hop and ballet. Like when ballet discovered me, it was like, all right, you got like 4 years to learn everything. So ballet was what I was focused on. I wasn't trying to do anything else. But no, you can't get me to dab or anything.
How often you guys got to soak your feet? I'm just curious how beat up your feet are.
I don't really. I actually was just overseas working, and I was doing like at minimum 10-hour days, which is out of the norm for a ballerina to be working that consistently, like throughout the day without a break. So I was icing my feet every night.
Wow.
But you know, we've been doing this our whole lives. If you take a long break and time off, you might need to then when you come back. But you know, our feet are strong. We build up calluses, and it's our armor.
Yeah.
I get you. Talk about, I mean, because you're here in Houston. You're at the Hobby Center this weekend, Friday, I should say, 8 o'clock. Talk to me about the ballet Cinderella.
It's exciting. You know, it's really important for me and what I do to try when I have the time to give back. And Open World Dance is the organization that we're performing with, and they're really using the youth of Houston to be a part of this production with Calvin and I, and that's such a beautiful thing and a beautiful opportunity for them. You've never performed the lead in Cinderella, have
No, this
you?
is
I didn't want to assume and
this
say
is-
it before. And you're like, girl, I've done this. We've both never performed the full-length Cinderella, so when I was approached about doing this, I immediately, you know, reached out to Calvin. I think that he's incredibly gifted and talented, and to give him an opportunity like this, I think to be seen, you know, as an African American male dancer, it's so important, I think, for us to carry each other, you know, with us and bring each other along on our journeys. And so we're excited to be here and at the Hobby Center. And Houston's always so incredible to me and so warm and inviting, and also the weather's warmer than it is in New York. So we're very excited. But it's Thursday and Friday. Correct?
Thursday and
Yes,
Friday? Okay.
Thursday and Friday at the Hobby Center.
Jim Beasy? Oh, yes, it is Thursday and Friday. I'm sorry, I got another piece another form here. It's Thursday and Friday, Hobby Center on Bagby. Of course, tickets, they can get tickets in the whole nine, of course.
Yeah.
The public is invited.
The public is invited.
Please
But
come,
Yeah.
public. We want you to
You know,
come.
I want everybody to come.
I've never been to a ballet, and I'm curious more than anything.
Yeah.
Like I've never had to sit through one. You know, you see it in movies, so you get a couple of glimpses, but to just sit there through a ballet, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this because I just want to. I'm gonna take my little girl with me to see, you know, because she's
There's
into the
so
music.
many
She'll love it.
things. Yeah, there's so many things, you know, to be able to listen to the music, to be able to visually see what you're seeing on stage and the physicality of it, and then to see the story that we're telling. Like, it's very interesting. You know, so many, especially African Americans, are coming to see me at the Metropolitan Opera House for the first time, and they've never seen ballet. And it's funny because a lot of them are like, "Wait, when are they going to talk?" And it's like, and it's, you know, it's educational. A lot of people don't know about ballet, and something that's you know, it just takes a lot of skill. Not only do you have to physically be able to do what we do and have the stamina and the right body, all of these things, we have to be able to tell stories through our bodies without speaking, and so we're actors and actresses, and it takes a lot of work.
How educated will I have to be about ballet to
You don't have to
understand
be.
Cinderella when I see you guys?
You don't have to be.
Because I want to encourage all of our listeners to come out and check this out, especially if they've never seen it before for themselves. That's what would be exciting, to see a group of people like, I don't know what ballet is. I know Misty, I seen her on TV, I saw her with Prince before. Let me see what this whole thing is like. I'm serious. I mean, you know, I think it'd be interesting because a lot of times we don't want to break ourselves out of our box.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And see what it's all about. And then, you know, this can be the opening door to, like you said, some other young lady or guy watching this and it's like, you know what? I actually think I could do this. You know what I
That's
mean?
what we
And
want.
do people have to dress up too? Like I see these on the movies where people are
No,
in
Jim, you can't come like
No,
that.
I'm just saying people are in tuxedos in the crowd. I mean, can you bring snacks inside?
Don't bring snacks.
Are you serious?
I'm just asking for you said
Don't bring snacks, but you know, dress nice. Dress nice. You don't need to be in a tuxedo, but
Okay.
you know.
So you want to ask a question because I see you mesmerized. Or you want to ask a question? I see you got the book. She got the Scholastic book. When I Grow Up by Misty Copeland. You want to ask a question? This is your time right now. Shine, baby, shine, because you don't get this close to your one of your favorites. You don't ever get this close. Today is your day to ask a question that you always wanted to ask.
What part will you be dancing in Cinderella?
There you go.
You'll be in the production, right?
So, oh, that's right. You're going to be in it. So, Misty, I'm going to let you ask her the questions and she can answer.
So what role are you playing in the production of Cinderella?
I'm playing a flower in a second.
In the second act?
Yes.
Very cool. I can't wait to see you. This is Calvin and I's first day being here in Houston, and we're going into our first bit of rehearsals with everyone, so we'll be seeing you later.
Thank you.
Miss Copeland and Calvin, guys, thank you so much because I know y'all time is crazy. But I
Thank
appreciate you guys coming here, and hopefully we get a whole bunch of people listening to experience, the Cinderella, and get a
Yeah,
chance
thank
to
you
see
for
you guys
having
do
us.
what
Thank
you
you
do.
for having us. We're
No,
so
thank you.
happy to be here. Hobby Center, 10th
Hobby
and
Center.
11th.
Yes.
Come check us out.
Yep, Thursday and Friday, 8 o'clock, Hobby Center, 800 Bagby, downtown. You guys know where it's at. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we expect to see that Ballet Cinderella.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you, guys.